A motocross athlete doing a backflip is pretty standard, but a motocross athlete doing a backflip without the use of his legs, extraordinary. You've got to see the journey this Canadian athlete has taken and the courage he's shown to go back to the site where his life changed forever.
This is the biggest trick in the world of action sports.
A double front flip to dirt. That was what Canadian freestyle motocross athlete Bruce Cook was aiming to land on January 23rd, 2014 for the first time in history. Instead, he under-rotated, broke his T11 vertebrae, and was paralyzed from the waist down. While I found the video extremely hard to watch, this comes with the territory for Bruce.
I mean, I've seen it so many times. Honestly, in action sports, we prefer to have it on video, so at least you can watch it. It was terrifying and kind of, one of your worst nightmares as far as an extreme sports athlete. But at the same time, my upper body was still fine and my head was, still as good as it ever was. It could have been worse. So, I mean, a lot of our friends have been taken too early and I wasn't one of them. So in a way, I got lucky. An
incredibly inspiring attitude to have, one he attributes to his family for instilling early on.
I think it was just passed down generation to generation. I mean, my dad and my grandpa, everyone owns their own business, and it's been a tough go. It's always how will you do it, not if you can. So that's kind of where that came from. They just never really allowed us to say can't growing up, and you just figured out a way.
Cook wasn't even taken out of the arena before saying he wanted to get back on the bike, which is what he did not even a year later.
A lot of training and going through physiotherapy, I had all that in my mind. One of my fabricator buddies had to build a cage around my legs on the bike and a small one on my seat for balance. There's no eject button anymore. I mean, you're on for the ride.
And it was right here in Toronto, just 10 months after he conquered a different record-breaking stunt.
You want to talk about a comeback?
The sport's first paraplegic backflip.
So many of the people that were in the stands in Toronto were there when I crashed. So it was kind of, it was basically like having an arena full of family and friends rather than kind of a distant crowd. So yeah, that was extremely overwhelming.
Now he returns to Hamilton this weekend with the Nitro Circus for the first time since his crash. It's not riding that scares him, it's a life without riding that he refuses to imagine.
The thought of not progressing and just kind of living a bland, normal life, or just, letting the disability get the best of me and kind of sitting in a corner depressed more than anything. So it's just kind of constantly pushing myself and whatnot, because just, thinking of a life without that scares me most.
Now, Cook will be performing with the rest of the Nitro crew for about 20 more shows across the U.S. and Canada this year. And his next goal, set some more firsts with different vehicles, including a quad and a snowmobile.